Hello everyone, I am your Dr. Ramesh Kasala. In this videos, we are going to talk about how women's bodies work when it comes to the menstrual cycle. Break down the female reproductive system and talk about the stages of the menstrual cycle. So if you have ever wondered how all this works, stick around and let's learn together. Before diving into this topic, I highly recommend to revising our previous videos where we delve into the female reproductive system, oogogenesis, follicular development, and especially hormones' effect on the menstrual cycle. This fundamental knowledge will provide you valuable content for our discussion today and enhance your understanding of upcoming contents. Let's get started. Menstrual cycle. The menstrual cycle is a natural process that happens in the woman's bodies each month. It involves in the various changes that prepare the body for pregnancy. Here is a simple breakdown. Menstrual cycle is having the three important phases. First one is the menstruation, second one is the follicular phase, and third one is the secretory phase. First one, menstruation phase. Menstruation, which typically occurs during the days of the 1 to 6 of the menstrual cycles. It marks the shading of the uterine lining, also known as the endometrium, in the absence of the pregnancy. This shading results in the discharge of the blood from the body through vagina. During this menstruation, hormone levels, especially estrogen and progesterone, are low, which trigger the shading of the endometrial tissue. This shading process is what causes the menstrual bleeding. Menstruation is usually lasts for the 3 to 7 days, although the duration can be vary from the woman to woman. It's natural and normal part of the menstrual cycle, signaling the beginning of the new cycle of the reproductive process in the female body. Second phase is follicular phase. During the follicular phase, which typically spans days 1 to 13 of menstrual cycle, the body gears up for ovulation. This phase kicks off the first day of the menstruation and lasts until the ovulation occurs. Throughout this period, follicle-stimulating hormones play a crucial role by stimulating the growth and development of the ovarian follicles, each containing an immature egg, also known as the oocyte. As these follicles mature, they produce the estrogen hormone that serves the several important functions. One of the estrogen primary role during this phase is to promote the thickening of the endometrium and lining of the uterus in preparation of the potential embryo implantation if fertilization occurs. This thickening ensures that uterine lining is adequately prepared to support the developing embryo. Among the ovarian follicles, one eventually emerges as a dominant and continues to mature while others undergo to the regression. This dominant follicle is the one most likely release its mature egg during the ovulations and marking the transition to the next phase of the menstrual cycles. Overall, the follicular phase sets the stage for the ovulation and subsequent potential for conception. Next phase is ovulation. Ovulation is the critical process in the menstrual cycles and typically timed to occur approximately 2 weeks before the next expected period, means 14 days. This timing is essential because it aligns with the optimal window for the conception. The release of the mature egg from the ovary into the fallopian tube is triggered by the surge in the luteinizing hormone secretions from the pituitary gland. This surge is a crucial signal that promotes the mature follicle containing the egg to rupture and release the egg into the fallopian tube, where it waits for possibility for the fertilization by the sperm. Overall, ovulation marks a pivotal moment in the menstrual cycle, signaling and release of egg. and the potential for the conception to occurs if sperm is present in fertilization and takes place in the fallopian tube. The phase of the menstrual cycle is secretory phase. During this secretory phase, typically spanning days 15 to 28 of the menstrual cycle, significant changes takes place in woman's body. After the ovulation, which is usually occurs around day 14, the ruptured follicles transform into corpus luteum. This corpus luteum becomes the powerhouse, secreting the progesterone along with the any remaining estrogen from the earlier follicular phase. Together, these hormones play a crucial role in thickening and maintaining the endometrial lining of the uterus. This thickened lining is essential. It is prepares the uterus for potential implantation of the fertilized egg. However, sperm doesn't reach the egg and fertilization is not occurs. That corpus luteum region comes to an end. It degenerates the causing hormones levels and including the progesterone to decline. This hormonal drop signals the onset of the menstruation, marking the beginning of the fresh menstrual cycles. Throughout this entire process, intricate the hormonal interactions between the various parts of the body, including the hypothalamus, pituitary gland, ovaries, and uterus, ensure the cyclical nature of the menstrual cycle and maintain the potential for the reproduction each month. This is the process of the menstrual cycle. These are the phases of the menstrual cycles: menstruation, follicular phase, ovulation, and final phase is the secretory phase. Let's have a short summary about today's lesson. Menstrual cycle prepares the woman's body for the pregnancy each month. This menstrual cycle is normally having the 28 days, but in some women it is increased more than 28 days. It will differ to woman. This menstrual cycle is having the 4 phases: menstruation, which is involved in the period starts and uterine lining sheds. Second one is the follicular phase. It is involved in the egg development in ovary. And third one is the ovulations. It is releases the egg into the fallopian tube and it waits until the sperm release. Fourth one is the secretory phase. It is involved in the uterine lining thickness for the potential pregnancy. If pregnancy doesn't occur, there is no pregnancy, that lining shades and cycle restarts again every month. This is the video. In our next video, we will explore the intricate process of the fertilization. For deeper understanding, visit my channel Dr. Ramesh Kasarla. Please don't hesitate to share your suggestions in the comment section below. Thank you, Dhanyavad, be healthy. See you in the next video.